Well, there's a man named Joe with a mic and a plan, talking small town stories, trying to understand. Life gets messy, friends come and go, so pull up a chair and listen to Joe. Catching up with Joe How. Yeah, we're killing time somehow. Nobody asked for this show, but we're still rolling now.
You're listening to Catching Up with Joe How, a podcast nobody asked for or expected. But since you're here, you might as well stay a while.
Stories, laughs, and late night doubt. That's what Joe How's all about.
Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of Catching Up with Joe How, the podcast no one asked for or expected. I'm your host, Joe, and today we are catching up with the current head boys track coach and special teams coordinator for the Georgetown Eagles, Mr. Jake Coulson.
That's why my alarm didn't go off this morning. I set it for 6:20 p.m. Alright, I'm glad I woke up still.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah, baby.
Alright, Jake. First of all, thanks for joining me with this. Current special teams coordinator and head track coach at Georgetown. You've been coaching, teaching for almost 20 years now, roughly.
Yep. It's almost 20, going on year 19.
Going on year 19. Started coaching, you coached a couple places, as I'm assuming an assistant coach.
Yep. I started as my first job was an assistant job there at Florence, and I did junior high. I taught at the junior high, and then I worked at the high school as well, taught health, and then coached football, basketball, powerlifting, track, did them all.
Yeah, that's the good thing about a small school is you pretty much got to coach everything, even if you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pros and cons to it, but I definitely enjoyed my time there, and definitely, was able to build a lot of relationships with some kids that I stay in contact still today, so that's pretty cool.
And then from Florence, you went to Hampshire Fannett, I'm guessing?
Hampshire Fannett, yeah.
Hampshire Fannett.
Yeah, it's down in the Golden Triangle. It's close to Beaumont and Winnie, right there on I-10. We actually lived in Winnie and went to school. I worked at Hampshire Fannett. My wife was actually a stay-at-home mother at that time, so that was pretty cool.
It sounds really humid.
Yeah, it was humid. Had to mow the grass a lot, crawfish, holes everywhere in the yard. It was pretty cool.
All right, and then you spent a couple years there, and then you went to Rockdale for a year?
Yep, yeah. Then I came to Rockdale. I was at Rockdale in 2014. We had a really good year. Was fortunate enough to be defensive coordinator there, and we were, I think we ended up 12-2 on the year, so it was pretty cool. Lost to Cameron in the quarterfinals here at Georgetown, actually.
That's what the next question I was going to ask, is that the year Rockdale went to state?
No, Rockdale did not. That was the year, that freshman class that we had that year ended up going to state and winning it, but those freshmen that we had that year, that's the group that they did it with Coach Miller's son, Gunner. That was a pretty special group.
So you missed it by a couple of years.
Yeah, I did.
And then from there you went to Eastview for 3 years.
Yep. Yeah, I went to Eastview, coached the linebackers, ended up becoming the head track coach there as well. And we went, we had a good run there in 5A. Before I decided to up and move to Florida.
And that's where we go next. You spent 5 years at Bloomingdale and 4 years as a head coach?
Yep. 5 years at Bloomingdale, 4 years as the head coach. First year as the defensive coordinator under Max Warner, who's now the offensive coordinator at UMass. So shout out to him. He's a good friend of mine and a really good football coach.
And then from there, you went to 1 year. I don't know how to pronounce this other school you went to in Florida.
Canto.
Canto?
Canto High School. Yeah. We just, we lived in Tampa, which is, very populated, a lot of traffic, and we were, interested in getting out of the city and moving to the country. And the Canto is up by Crystal River, Homosassa Springs area, which is, if you don't know that, that's some of the two best natural spring rivers that run out to the Gulf. It's really cool areas.
Some good fishing out there.
Yeah, you can do fishing. You can go see the manatees. You can just go hang out in the springs. The water stays constant year round, and it's crystal clear. So it's pretty cool.
All right, and then from there, you ended up coming back to Texas and coming to Georgetown, which you've been here now for going on 3 years.
Yep, this will be year 3. Leaving Texas or leaving Florida to come to Texas, it was a family decision, and we made it when Tristan, my son, was going to be in 8th grade, and my daughter was going to be in 6th grade, and was excited to get them back to Texas and let them play sports in Texas. So excited about that.
And is your wife from Texas?
No, my wife is actually from Florida. She's from Tampa. She's the whole reason why we moved to Florida. There, and me and her were talking about our kids' futures in sports, and we just thought maybe that it was the time to get back if we could. Coach Griffin here at Georgetown had an open position, and I contacted him about it, and here we are.
All right, Jake. Since we know about your coaching history now, we'll go back. You graduated from Florence in 2003, 2 years ahead of me. And then you went to UMHB for a little bit, and then Tarleton.
Yep.
Played football at UMHB for a year.
Yep. Played football my freshman year, and then sophomore year I did I think what every college kid does that is not getting the playing time that he thinks he should get, and decided that I was going to quit, and so I did that, and that took me down a different path probably than I wanted to go down, but I went down that, and I ended up going to Tarleton and getting my bachelor's degree, and then starting my first job back in Florence. So
did you end up playing at Tarleton, or
no? I just
intramurals.
Intramurals. Yeah, I played intramurals. Just went to school there. I was able to be a kid. I regret probably quitting when I did, and quitting for the reasons why I quit, because my coaches wanted me to gain weight and play a different position than I was used to playing, and I was stubborn and bullheaded, and I was like, I can't gain that weight.
You just waited like 20 years to gain the weight?
Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as you stop playing, you gain the weight that you need, and it's kind of crazy how the Lord works in mysterious ways like that.
I mean, just think if you didn't quit, you probably would have been somewhere else in life.
Yeah, you're right.
Got to think about the positives.
Yeah, got to think about the positives. As a football coach or as a coach in general, you preach to your kids, don't quit. If you start something, finish it. So that's definitely one of the regrets that I have, is just not finishing my sophomore year there at Marathon Baylor. Because I wasn't getting my way.
Was UMHB good when you were there?
Yeah, we were really good. So
I know at some point around then, that's when they started being real good.
Yeah, so my conference championship, my freshman year, got a ring. And then my sophomore year, they made it all the way to the national championship and lost.
That was right around the time their basketball team was good, too.
Yeah.
So when Matt Caskey was there.
Yep.
I think that was their first time they won their conference.
Oh, when Caskey was there? Yeah.
That would have been after you left.
I think he graduated with the same as you. Yeah, 05, yeah.
And that was his
senior. Yeah, so I left already, but I kind of kept up with UMHB just because my grandparents live in Belton, so I've kind of always kept up with them. My grandpa would always call me and tell me how they were doing.
And then Tarleton just because
I'm a redneck at heart and kind of a cowboy, and Tarleton's cowboy capital of the world, and
yes, it is.
I don't know, I thought that it would be a good school for me to attend. Also allow me to do some things that I hadn't gotten to do at UMHB and hadn't gotten to do since I lived out in the country.
All right, Jake, now that we got all your education and coaching history out of the way, first question I have for you is, you want to talk about some of the big differences in coaching from Texas and in Florida, even though they're probably two of the best, or not one and two depending on who you talk to,
Yeah.
for athletes coming out of high school?
Yeah, so Florida and Texas are, they're very good. They put out a lot of dominant high school prospects. I think year in and year out, Florida and Texas kind of fluctuate who's one and who's two. And then you got California and Ohio. But, Texas and Florida are really good football states. The biggest difference, in my opinion, is the amount of money that Texas pumps into high school athletics, period, versus Florida.
Yeah, because a lot of those really good Florida schools, they're private schools or.
Yeah. So like you got St. Thomas Aquinas, they're really good. In fact, we lost to them in 2020 in the semifinals, and I think they've won the state championship every year. So since I can recall, they get kids from all over the state of Florida, and they're a private school. Yeah, I think at one point they had more NFL prospects or more NFL football players than any other high school program in the nation. So, they're churning them out. I'd say in Florida you get more of a raw athlete. In Texas you get more of a developed athlete. And, the thing that Texas has is they have junior highs that start those kids as sixth graders, right? And the weight programs, and by the time, they're seniors, they're big and muscled up, and I don't think their gains are as high as those kids from Florida. They don't have all that stuff. They start lifting. Most of them start lifting when they're freshmen in high school, and depending on what school they're going to, if they got a good strength and conditioning program, depends on what they look like when they're seniors.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the Florida-Texas debate?
I would just say like the biggest difference is facilities, and then pay, right? Florida's facilities aren't very good. Now there's some schools that have great facilities. Most of those schools are private. I think the best stadium that I've seen high school wise in the state of Florida is the Villages High School, and it's a brand new stadium. I actually think that they maybe came to Texas and looked at some facilities and then went back and built their stadium, but that's probably the closest thing to Texas and Florida. And then I would say, what Texas is missing is kind of like what you're saying, like that speed, just that raw athlete. Some of these guys just play football all the time, and it's pretty fun watching some of those athletes move around.
I feel like Texas is like shortening the gap a little bit with all the speed you see come out, like the track times.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say a lot of that too goes back to facilities that Texas have. There's some high schools in Florida that I know that have asphalt tracks. So they are literally working these kids out on asphalt, going to some track meets where they're running on asphalt, right? So that that's crazy. Think about running the hurdles on asphalt. That's
clipping your foot on that last hurdle.
Road rash for a month.
No, thank you. Bad enough falling on a hurdle in the grass.
Yes, for sure.
All right, Jake. I want to talk about, since you've been coaching for about 20 years now, head coach expectations now than they were 20 years ago when you first got into it.
Oh man. Well, I would say like 20 years ago, coaching football was, you're more, I don't know, just you could actually coach football, where today, in today's world with social media, everybody has a cell phone, everybody has a Twitter account or X account, Instagram. Like, head coaches are like, to me, are like PR people. They put out fires. They're the figurehead. They're the guys that steer the ship in the direction that it needs to be led. But if you don't have really good assistant coaches under you, that could be a bad deal for you.
Yeah, because nowadays not only do you have to because back then you just basically had to deal with parents.
Yeah, for sure, parents. Well, I would say this: parents are not always the issue, but they definitely create some of the issues, and a lot of it has to do with their baby and playing time.
Yeah, that's one thing. I could never be a coach.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to handle that part of it.
Well, here's the deal. At the end of the day, you gotta be human and sit down with them and talk to them and tell them the truth. I think everybody wants their kid to be the next Tom Brady or the next, whatever, Drew Brees, and play that, quarterback position. And sometimes some of the year I was at Bloomingdale as the head coach, we made it to the semis, got beat by St. Thomas Aquinas, and I'm not lying, one of our defensive tackles was a ex-quarterback. I said, hey man, you got to put 20 pounds on, play DT for me, and the other one was a receiver. So I just was like, hey, we have all these guys, how do we put the best 11 on the field? And on defense, we wanted to be fast. We predicated being the fastest team, and it worked until we played St. Thomas Aquinas.
I think that happens to a lot of teams that play them.
Yeah, they have some guys. I think that was the year Mason Taylor. So Jason Taylor's son was the tight end. And we had a defensive back coming into Notre Dame. His name was Philip Riley. And I told Philip, I said, hey man, we're going to bring pressure all night. You're going to have to cover him. He said, Coach, I got it. And I would say they were 50-50. I mean, there were some balls that he caught, really good balls that he caught for, big games. And there were some plays where, our guy was batting the ball down or right there when he caught the ball. So, there's...
Is that the Taylor kid that ended up going to LSU?
Yeah, played tight end for LSU. Yeah, then I saw him a year or two ago. He's the one that they went for 2 and beat, Alabama or somebody, and I was like, yeah, I played against him in high school, so that was a pretty cool experience.
All right, moving along, Jake. I'm actually surprised we're staying on track with this one so far. What's the best life lesson that football's given you?
Oh, man. Best life lesson. I would just say, working hand in hand with teammates and teaching you, hard lessons. To this day, some of my best friends are my high school football teammates. Closest friendships. So, just teaching you to fight through the adversity, because it's always hard. So, I think that's the biggest thing, and then the camaraderie it teaches you to have and make friends for a lifetime.
Speaking of your friends, friends from high school being, or your teammates from high school being your good friends, I got to bring up this one point about Daniel Havens.
Okay.
That was y'all's senior year, my sophomore year.
Uh-huh.
I think we were doing inside defensive drills,
Mm-hmm.
and you were backup free safety, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So you were on the scout team offense, running plays.
Uh-huh.
You decided to go in at running back for a little bit.
Okay.
And there was a play where you went up the middle and Daniel met you head first in the hole.
Knocked me out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually that play, I was playing free safety and he was playing scout team running back.
Oh, so I had it backwards.
No, it's good. And, I don't know, coach called a run play up the middle. I was a free safety. We played cover 3, so we ran the alley inside out. I came downhill. And he started, giving me the little shimmy shake, and so I kind of break down, and he freaking hit me, and the back of my head hit the ground, and that was. I remember. Next thing I remember is Coach Carter had my shoes off at somebody's truck, tickling my toes. So
I remember him being super mad at that, and I remember him yelling, "Jake's never doing anything ever again."
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, Daniel definitely got the best of me.
I don't remember if you ended up missing a game then, or
no.
So I know concussion protocol wasn't a thing.
No concussion protocol, man. We talk about it all the time when we played. Man, I can't remember who we were playing, but I did one of those reverse outs on a sprint out deal, and I'd been doing it and getting away with it. Woke up with smelly salt on the sideline, and like 2 plays later, they're like, "Get your butt back in there." Nowadays you definitely can't do that.
Yeah, that would never happen now. Well, it also wouldn't happen. Your starting quarterback wouldn't be running the scout team.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess you're free safety at that point, but whatever.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't. Well, here's the deal. That I did that, and I don't know why I was even playing safety that day, because normally I played corner. Anyway, I don't know. That was a whole deal. But Daniel, we still talk about that when we get together.
Yeah, me and Jeff bring that up every now and then when we're talking like foreign stuff. Because he actually wasn't there for that because he graduated the year before. That's one of the funniest memories I remember about like practice-wise at football.
Oh man, I don't know. It was probably funny to everybody to see there. Damn, Coulson just got knocked out. But
yeah, it's probably funny for everybody except for you and Coach Carter.
Yeah, I think Coach Carter was like, "Damn it, what did I do?"
Yeah, but back then, especially at a small school, pretty much everybody had to play everything.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Like I think I was one of the only few people that didn't play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, even like my senior year, Rudy, was our starting center and
Starting linebacker.
And then starting linebacker, right? Like you don't see that. You never really see that now, in football nowadays. I guess maybe at the smaller schools you do, but
yeah, if I remember
that way you don't.
If I remember right, I think everybody that was on the offensive line except for me played defense. Like started like my sophomore year, your senior year.
Oh, on defense, yeah.
Yeah, because Atkinson was
Joseph
somewhere there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, Jeff Bowser played.
Bowser was my backup on offense,
right?
And then Alan Beck.
Yeah, Alan Beck. I don't know if he played very much defense, but I know he definitely was on those lines.
I know I had to go play defense if somebody was like real tired, they'd get in there for a play. Like I don't know what to do. I don't care. Bear crawl.
Just stay low.
Stay low. Grab an ankle.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Defense was terrible.
Ankle biter.
That was one of the funnest seasons I had playing. It was my sophomore year.
Was your sophomore year?
And that was the only year I played that we were good.
Yeah. Well, it was probably good for you. I mean, I remember a lot of the good games. The thing that sticks to my memory is the last play when I kicked that field goal and Lexington blocked it.
Yeah, I still say you shouldn't have been the kicker, but I feel like somebody else was starting kicker and you just told them no.
I did. So here's what's crazy is we're out there and Brandon Herring had been kicking kind of on and off with me all year, and coach was going to send him out there and it's the last play of the game. It's like a 27, 30-yard field goal. And I just looked at it and said, I got it. I remember saying I got it. And the replay, here's the deal. I replay that in my head all the time because they brought an overload from the left side. And I'm thinking if we had one of those fakes that you see where the holder, catches it and then flicks it over his head, I would have caught it and house called it. And we wouldn't have tied. We would have won and gone to the playoffs.
I still say kicking a field goal at that point was a wrong choice, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some merit in that as well.
But that was also the one moment in sport, that first moment in sports where I realized that it doesn't last forever. Because I remember hearing the second thud and looking over and seeing Daniel hunched over, that's the last time he's gonna play football.
Yeah, it is.
And here I am, a little sophomore. I'm like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah, because I think you and. Was Wigington in your grade or in the grade below?
He was
Wigington in your grade, yeah, because he played a lot with us. So I would think.
Yeah, he played
you and him were probably the most, played the most as sophomores with us.
Yeah, because he was on the team our freshman year. The year y'all made the playoffs.
Yeah, he was a good ball player too.
Yeah, I think he's the only one in our grade that went to college to play.
Where did he end up going?
McMurray.
Okay.
Abilene, somewhere over there.
Yeah, it's in
somewhere in West
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, it's in Abilene. Yeah.
Somewhere out yonder. I had that question at the end, but
which one?
The Daniel question.
Oh, the Daniel question. Yeah, man, that's sorry, sucker. I mean, we meet up every month. We'll either meet up and go to Whataburger, or we meet up and go somewhere. Hat Creek, Willie's. He likes Willie's, so we'll go eat. Just talk and pretty much we always end up talking about football, inevitably. But here's the deal, I know and he knows that if we need something, we can call each other. So it's pretty cool.
That's the best part about being from a small town, when you pretty much grow up playing sports together.
Yeah.
Or I guess you didn't really grow up, but...
Well, I moved in my 8th grade year, and what's crazy is me and Daniel, when I first moved in, we didn't really get along. I remember one time, we got into it in the hallway, and anyway, I'll just leave it at that. And it was funny because we probably started off not liking each other, and then we, by the time we're seniors, we're like best friends. So it's pretty cool.
What excites you the most about where you are today?
Oh, well, I would say probably the coolest thing that I'm getting to do right now is I'm getting to coach my son. He's a freshman, gonna be a sophomore. He plays offensive line, and just being around him, he goes to school with me every day in the morning. He just got his permit, so everybody needs to watch out. But he did get his permit, and it's pretty cool to.
Basically, now you can just sit in the passenger seat and have him drive everywhere.
Yeah, now I can do what he does every morning. He sleeps for the 10-minute ride to the school. I'm thinking I'm gonna do the same, but today he was driving and he scared the crap out of me, so I probably won't be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, that's why you just close your eyes and you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, for sure. But getting to coach him is a cool experience that I'm getting to do right now. I'm not the head coach, but I don't even coach offense, so it's pretty cool. I get to coach defense, and this year I'll get to see him more because he'll be a sophomore and he'll be coming down and giving our defense different looks from the scout team, and so I'll get to be right there in his ear. And sometimes he likes that, and sometimes he's like, "Will you please get away from me?"
I'm sure it's the same thing as you remember like your dad doing to you back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. And he says all the time, that Dad, I can't do nothing at this school without you knowing about it. And I was like, yeah, there's 12 coaches, there's all these teachers, so you at least have 24 eyes on you all the time.
At least he's in a big school though. Just imagine if he were in a small school.
Yeah. If he's at a small school, he'd really be screwed.
Yeah, both parents knowing everything. You have teachers texting or calling your mom.
Oh man, it would be bad for him. I mean, here's the deal: is I send all of his teachers out an email at the beginning of the year. I'm like, hey, I'm Tristan's dad, and if you ever need anything, just shoot me an email. Some teachers really take advantage of that. Some teachers, I never hear from, but it's pretty funny because he's like, Dad, how do you know that? I'm like, I got an email.
Are you teaching too?
So I do special education at the high school, so I push in and out of classes at the high school, different classes. I think last year I had 5 different subjects, but I'm hoping to get that narrowed down to maybe just science or just history or something like that.
What's it like being in high school and having your dad leave and a new coach coming in?
Oh man, that's a good question. Well, I think it would have been, you're talking about me. Specifically, yeah. Correct. Yeah. So.
Because y'all moved in.
Yep. Moved in my 8th grade year. He stayed as the head football coach my freshman year, and then moved. I think it would have been probably more difficult if Coach Carter wouldn't have taken over, but Coach Carter was on staff there with my dad as the defense coordinator. So just the fact that I knew him and already had built a relationship with him, I think I was okay with it. I think if that wouldn't have happened, then it would have probably been a little different. We probably possibly could have moved again. I don't know. But my dad did work it out where whenever he left, he went to Pflugerville and was the boys' middle school coordinator. That way he could go attend all of my high school sports and my sister's high school sports.
Yeah, because I remember him, even though he wasn't coaching, he was always around.
Yeah, he got to go to all of our things, which was really cool. And I guess if you had to do it and not coach your kid or be coached by your dad, that's the best way to do it. Now he's just a fan, so I don't know. We had a lot of knockdown, drag out, dinners in our house because we would have, and I'm probably doing the same thing to my son. I just don't know it, but we would go through practice or a game, and then we'd come home and he wants to talk about it, and I didn't want to talk about it. And, I'm mad, and he just keeps poking the bear, and I know how my son feels because I do it to him. I kind of feel bad for him, but it is what it is.
Now you get that moment where you're talking to your son, you're like, oh man, I'm just like my dad.
Oh yeah. You don't see that you're just like your dad until it's already passed, but I definitely know that I'm a lot like my dad in that area. And here's the crazy thing is that my dad, had my little sister and my little brother that are 13 and 15 years apart. I think my dad was way different with my brother than he was with me. So, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, because Jackson was little when.
Oh yeah.
When you graduated.
Yeah, he was a little bitty. I mean, he was born in 2000. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember coming around and him being like little, like either in diapers or barely out of diapers.
Yeah, most people used to come to the house and they'd be like, "Did your brother ever put on clothes?" Because he'd be running around naked, just peeing on every tree out in the country. Yeah.
Hopefully he grew out of all that.
Yeah. He's actually getting married here in July, so July 11th he's going to get married too.
I actually saw him the last playoff game y'all had here.
Oh, when we played Lone Star?
Yeah.
Frisco, yeah.
Yeah, ran into him.
He didn't come to very many games, but I know he came to that one.
Talked to him and your sister and your dad for the whole second half.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not so much your dad, because he was paying more attention to the game.
To the game, yeah. So Jenna. Yeah, she probably could care less about the football game, but she just comes to support me. It's pretty cool. My family's pretty supportive.
Yeah, because she's back in the area too, right?
Yeah, she lives right over in Berry Creek. I mean, not too far away from my parents. Yeah.
And your grandparents still around?
Yeah, so my grandparents still live here in Serenata, so, I'm definitely very blessed. I'm 41 and have 3 of the 4 grandparents. I have my mom's dad lives in Belton, and then both of my dad's parents live here in Georgetown and Serenata, so that's pretty cool.
And I was telling my brother this, I don't remember what, one of the first game I went to in Georgetown, I remember telling Jeff after we leave, like, man, Jake's parents, like, barely aged. Like, his mom's, like, your mom still looks, like, exactly the same as I remember her 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Your dad just looks a little bit older, but...
Yeah, a little grayer, but, like, he definitely, they do, I don't know, they stay healthy, and it's a good thing, My dad is very active. In fact, I ask him all the time, I'm like, Dad, I don't know where you get that energy from, because he's a go guy, and I'm in the morning, I'm a morning person, so I get up and I'm pretty go in the morning, but when you get to the afternoon most of the time, by 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm ready to sit in a recliner and just relax, and he is...
That's the way I'm about noon.
He's good. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could put up with the traffic in Austin, I think. Ooh.
It's different when you're getting paid.
Oh, yeah?
When I'm on the clock, I'm like, I don't care about traffic, but on the way home, I'm like, man, this traffic sucks. Why am I working in Austin?
Coming here today, you're like, this traffic sucks.
Oh yeah, the traffic was bad here. Like I said, I left work at 3:30, and I didn't get here till right at 6.
Oh, that's crazy.
How do you find balance in coaching, teaching, and the family life with having a wife and 3 kids?
Man, I don't know. If you ask my wife, she'd probably tell you I don't find no balance. She'd probably tell you I'm like coach. Then I'm probably father, and then I'm probably husband.
You got to find somewhat of a balance, because I'm sure she wouldn't put up with it at some point.
I mean, she puts up with it. I think the reason why she puts up with it, though, is because she's a coach herself. So, I mean, she knows, the amount of hours and time and dedication it takes. And here's what is crazy is people think that fall here is bad for football. But I'm telling you, the spring, when I'm the head track coach, we have football going on. I mean, there's 7,000 different things going on in our family with club volleyball, with baseball, with whatever, the 2-year-old, I mean, it is the spring is just as busy.
Yeah, so your son's is going to be a sophomore, your daughter is going to be
an
8th grade, and you have a 2-year-old.
Yep. So wife Justine, son Tristan, he's going to be a sophomore, Tegan, 8th grader, and then 2-year-old Tate. And, our life is as busy as you can make it.
If you weren't coaching or teaching, what would you be doing?
Oh, man, I would probably be like a ranch foreman or something. I would love to run like a cattle ranch and get paid for it. I think that's not work, in my opinion.
Is that because you watch Yellowstone?
No, it's not because I watch Yellowstone. Actually, some back in the day, I showed steers, when I was in high school, and heifers, and I don't know, I've just always been into cattle. I kind of credit that back to my grandfather and a guy named Norman Coleman. They got me into showing cattle along with my dad. They got me into showing cattle when I was, I think, 3rd or 4th grade. And, I just have liked cattle ever since.
All right, Jake, that's all the questions I have, except for the final 3 questions that I ask everybody when they do this.
Okay.
One thing people don't know about you.
One thing people don't know about me. would say probably I feel like I can ride a horse as good as anybody, and I used to team rope back in the day. I took a couple horses up to Tarleton, and tried to go to as many ropings as you can, but you can't do that very much when you're a broke college kid. And I started roping probably when I started showing cattle in the 3rd or 4th grade, and people don't know that about me. It's pretty funny. I had the seniors over when I was a head coach at Bloomingdale, and one of the kids, we're cooking for them, and one of the kids saw like a lasso rope in my house on the wall, and they're like, "Coach, what is that?" And I'm like, "You don't know what that is?" And I said, I can rope." And they're like, "What do you mean you can rope? You can rope?" I can rope cows. And they're like, "Oh, you got to prove it." So I took I took one of the chairs out of the kitchen out into the front yard, and I roped it a couple times. And you should have seen their eyes. They're like, "What the heck? Coach is crazy." So that was pretty funny.
All right, second to last question we got for you. Who's been the most influential person in your life?
I think that's pretty easy. As much as I butt heads with him, but it's definitely my father and my grandfather. Both grandfathers, but my dad has instilled, I guess, just a lot of hard work and discipline in me, and then just always try to give me the opportunity to do what I wanted, and probably did it knowing now, all the stuff that I go through with a high schooler. Probably did it not having the means to do it, but figured out a way to do it. So that was pretty cool.
Last question we got for you. Best advice you ever received, and from who?
Again, I think it goes back to, my dad has always said, kids and people don't care, how much you know until they know how much you care. I think that holds a lot of truth. And then I don't know if I found this just reading throughout, all the stuff that I've read, but just 3 things to live by are work hard, treat people right, and believe in something bigger than yourself. And I think that that's probably the best motto that I could give anybody looking to be a coach or looking to just do great things in life.
Well, Jake, I think that's a perfect way to end it on this one.
Okay, sounds good.
Appreciate you joining me, sir.
Yep.
Well, that's all we have for you on this episode. Thank you again, Jake, for joining me. And remember to check out our Instagram page at Catching Up with Joe Howe for details on our next show. Until then, I'm Joe, and thank you for catching up with me.
That wraps it up, yeah, we're out the door. Another episode you can't ignore. Didn't ask for this, didn't see it coming, but somehow it's still up and running. Don't be shy, hit subscribe, don't pass it by. Drop a comment, let it fly. We'll keep this whole thing rolling. Catching up with Joe Howe, that's the name. Unexpected, but we're building the flame. Share it out, spread the word. Until next time, thanks for catching